Hi, good morning. My name is Joe Bushnell. I'm running for Tacoma City Council District 5. We are in the beautiful Fern Hill neighborhood, and I'll be riding bus 45 up and down and learning about mobility in our area town. One of the most pressing mobility concerns in my district is good bus stops. There's a lot of places in the neighborhoods where it takes a while to walk to any bus stops in particular. There's also a lack of a lot of sidewalks in many areas, even especially around schools. I think about the Edison neighborhood in particular. There's a lot of sidewalks that are not completely there, there's also issues with like bike lanes and things like that. I know on 56th Street they're finally putting in some bike lanes to help support multimodal traffic, which is really important in order for allow people to get around. So that's the biggest challenges. That's a really tough question. There's a lot of aspirational projects I'd like to see done. I think one of the hardest currently that's ongoing is the Link Light Rail through Tacoma, through to downtown and through MLK. Part of that is not a challenge just for the construction crews and tearing up the roads and getting all the piping underneath redone, but also very difficult for the neighborhoods that are along that path, as well as the businesses that are on that path as well. You know, the businesses are still open, people's homes are still accessible, but it's very difficult to get to them currently with all the construction going on and, you know, delays and stuff like that. In the future, I believe the other major project is the Link Light Rail coming from King County down into Pierce County and ending at the Tacoma Dome. I'd love to see that expanded past the Tacoma Dome and potentially into the South Tacoma area. I'd love to see it expand into the Tacoma Mall and then go even further down into Lakewood into JBLM because those are very large job centers and retail centers. So it can get people where they would like to be. You know, but that's obviously way far off in the future and very aspirational. Yeah, and then also, you know, I think getting bike trails connected throughout the city so that way there's alternatives to riding on the street. There's pipeline trails and other things that are happening within the city that I think are really important to connect up so that way people can traverse the city in a safe and safe way so that, you know, that they don't get hit by a car or something like that. This question was going to come up, and I'm open to it, and I think it's really good that it is a ballot measure because ultimately up to the people of the city to decide whether they want to increase their sales tax. The city of Tacoma already has the largest sales tax in the entire country, and so I believe it's a really tough pill to swallow to take on another sales tax. I'd also be open to re-examining the current sales taxes that are being implemented in the city and see if maybe are those programs working the way we intended them to? Is there monies that are not being used appropriately? And, you know, and exploring ways that maybe we can lower the sales tax in order to bring on a new sales tax to support, you know, the transit. Because transit is so important for so many people, and if we want to be a city of the future of the 21st century, we need to have a robust public transit infrastructure, and that costs a lot of money. So, and I think it's definitely a worthwhile project, and I'm worth exploring and trying to find ways that we can get that money made available for that infrastructure. I really want to see more connectivity between bikes and trails and things of that nature. One of the future projects I'm super excited for is the Tahoma to Tacoma trail system. I believe that would be such a phenomenal marketing opportunity for our region. It would be a worldwide destination. People would want to come to bike and to hike on that trail from Point Defiance all the way up to the top of Mount Rainier. And that would be a destination worth coming to see. And that brings outside money, helps boost the economy. It helps us locally by creating that connectivity between our rural towns and our bigger cities. And it also provides alternate transportation methods and ways to connect within the city itself, having that as like a spine through our county. I would like to see more bike lanes and protected bike lanes in particular. Obviously, there's a lot of money that comes with that. Whenever we repave roads, I want to see if there's opportunities to add those bike lanes or not, as well as obviously upgrading the infrastructure underneath. I'd like to see a more comprehensive plan on our road infrastructure in Tacoma itself. We do have a 30-year plan, but I would actually like to see a 100-year plan. What's our plan to replace the roads, all of the roads in Tacoma? What does it look like to upgrade the light infrastructure to allow for more traffic flow? What about lane prioritization for buses, bus rapid transit that's going on Pacific? I think there's also other alternatives. There's other areas of the town that we can use that model. There's so much there that can be done and so much ideas to do, but obviously a lot of it comes down to money, but we really need to have those plans and the far-reaching plans, and it's not going to happen in my term. We need to be more longer term and strategic thinking in that. Thank you.